As the Carthage Redmen get set to take on UW La Crosse Eagles in the third place game of the Carthage Classic Men's Basketball Tournament. Good afternoon, everyone. John Weiser with you. Doubleheader action here today from the Tarble Arena. Plenty of room for you if you're out and about. So if you're just finishing up some early Christmas shopping or looking for something to do here in the early evening, we've got college basketball going on at Carthage as the Redmen take on UW La Crosse. The Redmen at 1-1. The Eagles also at 1-1. As the Redmen fell to St. Francis, University of St. Francis last night by a score of 70-57. In that ball game, Carthage fell behind by as many as 18 points late in the first half and fell behind by 16 at the break, 39-23. And then the Fighting Saints went on to post a 20-point lead early in the second half. The Redmen unable to get any closer than 11 the rest of the way. Part of that, some cold shooting on the part of the Redmen, as they shot just 34% or 35% in the second half, and 36% total for the game. But there were some individual bright spots in that ball game for the Redmen. Reese Hurth, a fine second half in that ball game, as he scored 14 of his 18 points in the second half, finishing the game at 4 of 13 from the floor for his 18. He made all 8 of his free throws, and thought in the first half may have rushed a couple of shots early on, and really I thought that might have been the downfall for the Redmen a little bit in that ball game. Some quick shots off the offense. Second half, much better job controlling the offense and getting better looks to the basket. And again, you'll look at the numbers, and again, if you're a quantitative analysis individual, you look at the numbers and say, well, 36% shooting could not have been doing much better, but as far as getting the ball to the basket, but it's the shot selection that you're looking at there, and I thought the Redmen had a much better look on the shot selection. I think the other player that stood out in the ball game for the Redmen, and talking to Bosko Jerkovic before the ball game and a couple of the assistant coaches, Miles Olson I thought played a pretty good ball game as well, and they thought so too. They thought Miles Olson did a very good job controlling the offense, particularly in the second half, and getting the ball across midcourt and getting into the offense early enough in the shot clock. It wasn't kind of a herky-jerky or kind of a stop-and-go offense. Miles Olson did a very good job last night. He finished with 7 points on 2 of 4 shooting, but he had 3 assists, and the big story there, he did not turn the ball over in 20 minutes of play, and that's what they've been waiting to see with Miles here the last couple of years, to get him to back in that form that he had very early on in his freshman year, and the junior from East Troy responded with a nice performance last night, and we'll get the start today at point guard for the Redmen. Meanwhile, for the La Crosse Eagles, heartbreak city last night. They were down early in that ball game, 32-27 at the break. They were down by as many as 14 throughout that second half, and then a furious comeback in the final moments of that ball game got the game to 68 all, and a pair of free throws with 19 seconds left, and Aurora got the final look, and Aurora took that all the way down, and then on a very last second flip shot to the basket that somehow found its way in, Aurora won that ball game 70-66, or 70-68 I should say, and stunning La Crosse, who was poised for the win. So we'll see what this La Crosse team has in the tank going into the game here tonight. Skylar Cameron had 23 points to lead the way for the Eagles on 5 of 16. He made all 5 three-pointers last night. He was 8 of 12 from the line and collected 8 rebounds. So that will be a player to keep an eye on here today for the Redmen as far as they are concerned. Also, Cale Zeicher had 19 points on 7 of 16 shooting, and he also had 9 rebounds last night. The storyline for the Redmen today in this ball game against La Crosse as well, they have to do a better job on the offensive glass. The Redmen struggled with that last night, held to just 5 offensive rebounds in that contest. So if you're missing shots and not getting rebounds, that's not going to turn out to a good advantage. And so the Redmen need to do a much better job on the offensive glass here this evening. Again, this La Crosse team coming into play here tonight at 1-1. and you look at the preseason coaches poll has La Crosse pegged for 4th in the WIAC. Right around the middle of the pack. They finished 17-10 last year, a winning record in league play, 10-6, and again, only 3 teams with a winning conference record last year in the, or I should say 4 teams, the top 4 teams with a above 500 record in league play last year in the WIAC. La Crosse, one of those teams. So a tough team. This is a good test here for the Redmen. We heard Bosco mention last night in our pregame he was very pleased with this tournament field and the way it turned out, and he knew these 2 games this weekend were going to be tough tests for his Redmen and trying to build into what will be a tough CCIW once again this year. Augustana, I think, is going to be the banner carrier as far as the team to beat in the league, but again, I think it's going to be a dogfight for that 2nd, 3rd, and 4th spot in the chase for getting a seed into the conference tournament between Illinois Wesleyan. You've got North Central, you've got Carthage, you've got Wheaton, you've got Elmhurst in that mix, and I think that's how it's going to play out. I think you're going to have 5 teams scrambling for 3 spots in the conference tournament. So look forward to some outstanding conference play in the CCIW when that kicks off in early January. But first things first here today, the Redmen have to take care of business against a very tough UW La Crosse men's basketball team. We'll pause and take a 60 break. When we come back, we'll get you the starting lineups and we'll have the tip-off of our ball game this afternoon, the Redmen and UW La Crosse, right here on AM 1050 WLIP. John Weiser back with you at the Tarble Arena as we get set for Redmen basketball. Back end of our doubleheader here today. If you're just joining us, the Carthage Lady Reds picking up the win, 62-41 over UW La Crosse. In our first game of our doubleheader. As kind of a busy day today involving conference teams as far as men's basketball is concerned. And again, 7 teams in action today. And we already got a couple of finals posted. Once again, Augustana beating Roost College 91-69 this afternoon in Crestville, Kentucky at the Thomas More College tournament that they took part in. So they win that particular tournament. 91-69 the final there. Other games going on this afternoon. Elmhurst is at Fontbonne in St. Louis, Missouri. That game just getting underway. Illinois Wesleyan will take on Illinois College in the Bill Maris Classic down in Jacksonville, Illinois. That about to tip off as well, so we'll try and follow those ball games for you. And later on tonight, Bluffton and North Central battle it out in Naperville, and Wheaton in a very interesting matchup, a team that the Redmen will see next weekend. Washington University taking on Wheaton in the championship game of the Lee Fund Classic at Wheaton College. So we'll be primed to look at a box score on that one and follow that one as Milliken will take on McMurray, also in St. Louis today. Milliken fell to Webster last night by a final of 81-68. So we'll try and follow those ball games for you as this one develops here today between Carthage and UW La Crosse. Good crowd on hand, still plenty of room for you as well, and hope to see you out here at some point, one of the better venues in all of Division III as far as watching basketball in an arena setting. We'll turn things over to Adam King, the PA announcer here at the Tarble Arena, as we get our starting lineups this afternoon for this ball game between the Carthage Redmen and UW La Crosse.
The NCAA, the CCIW, and Carthage thank you for your cooperation. Please direct your attention to the American flag at the north end of the arena. It draped the coffin of Captain Frank Vavrin, a former Carthage student who died in Vietnam in 1970. The flag is a gift to the college from his parents. In remembering Captain Vavrin, we pay tribute to all who have sacrificed their lives for our country and honor those who today put themselves in harm's way in service to America. To honor America, please remain standing for the playing of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
And now for the starting lineups for this afternoon's game between the UW La Crosse Eagles with a record of 1-1 and your Carthage Redmen with a record of 1-1. Let's meet the Eagles. A 6-foot sophomore guard out of Onalaska, Wisconsin, number 10, Clint Reen. A 6'9" senior forward out of Marshfield, Wisconsin, wearing number 23, Cale Zeicher. A 6'2" senior guard out of Bermanwood, Wisconsin, number 25, Skylar Cameron. A 6'3" senior guard out of Appleton, Wisconsin, number 34, Trent Schmidt. And a 6'2" senior guard out of Little Chute, Wisconsin, number 35, Connor DeBruin. The head coach for the Eagles is Ken Cable. He's assisted by Bobby Wheat and Chris Risch. Are you ready? And now let's see the starting lineup for your Carthage Redmen. At 4, a 6'6" senior from Wassenaar, Netherlands, number 22, Cameron Van White. At guard, a 6'3" sophomore from Bloomingdale, Illinois, wearing number 10, Mike Kelson. At center, a 6'8" senior from St. Charles, Illinois, number 40, Mike Costell. At guard, a 6'1" junior from East Troy, Wisconsin, number 4, Miles Olsen. And at guard, a 6'2" senior from Morton Grove, Illinois, number 15, Reese Hurst. coached by Bosco Jerichovic. He's assisted by Steve Jerichovic, Quincy French, Jose Garcia, and Andy Atkins.
So the Redmen and Eagles getting set to battle for just the second time ever between these two schools. Last meeting came back in 1979. The Eagles winning that contest 92-80. Ken Coble is the head coach for the Eagles. It'll be Ryan, Zeiker, Cameron, Schmidt, and DeBruin on the floor for the Eagles. Olson, Kelson, Hirth, Van Wyck, and Castell for the Redmen. Carthage in the white jerseys, white shorts trimmed out in red and black. Eagles in the maroon jerseys, maroon shorts trimmed out in white and gray. Castell and Zeiker to jump, and Carthage wins the opening tip. Miles Olson will control it here for the Redmen, working it right to left as we view it here at the Tarble Arena. Pass inside to Castell. Castell back out to Cameron Van Wyck. Short jumper off the right baseline is good. Van Wyck with a bandage across that right wrist, across that thumb. Jammed that thumb last night, so he's nursing a little bit of a sore hand, but able to knock down that short jumper off the baseline. 2-0 Redmen. 3-ball on the way. That one is good. Trent Schmidt out of Appleton East, a senior, 6'3", able to drop that one in for the 3-ball. 3-2 lacrosse advantage here. First minute of play here in Kenosha. Kelson now works it off to Van Wyck, middle of the floor. Over to Olson on the left wing. Miles Olson. Again, the Redmen will be without Dante today. As Dante Logan, missing the last couple of ball games, should be ready to go on Tuesday night at Platteville. And Aaron passed that time, stolen away by Ryan. They get it inside and able to finish down low, Cale Zeiker, the senior out of Marshfield. So 5 quick points here for lacrosse. They lead at 5-2. Van Wyck got behind on the right block, able to beat Zeiker back, and reverse layup left side is good. Van Wyck with all 4 of his team's points, a 5-4 lacrosse advantage. With it now is Schmidt. Turns and delivers. 3-ball by Cameron again. Knocks it down. Skylar Cameron for 3. 2 for 2 now outside the arc. 8-4. The lacrosse has doubled up on the Redmen here early on. We're 2 minutes in. Olson will bring it across. Gets it to Kelson. Up top to Big Mike Castell, drops it down low to Van Wyck. Had trouble with it early, then missed the shot short, but then taken away, but dribbling it out of bounds is Reese Hirth. The turnover back to UW Lacrosse. Good entry look that time by Castell down low to Van Wyck. Just had trouble controlling it. 8-4 Lacrosse. On the drive is Cameron, cut off nicely by Van Wyck. Dishes it back out to Ryan, reversing right side to Zeiker. We'll hand it off with the basketball. This is Schmidt. Back over to Zeiker. Drops in the 3. Cale Zeiker for 3, and they've hit 3 of their first 3 from behind the arc. (11-4). Now missing is Castell, and the rebound cleared out by Lacrosse. They'll push it up the floor. They've got the tempo early. DeBruin with it. Gives it off to Schmidt. Schmidt. Back to the near side it goes to Connor DeBruin. Now to Trent Schmidt driving in left side, going glass and in. Too much dribble penetration and a timeout taken by the Redmen. An 11-0 or 11-2 run, I should say, and the Lacrosse on fire here early. 13-4 your score, and a timeout taken by the Redmen. Lacrosse has hit all 4 of their field goals and 3 of their 3-pointers. Make that 5 of their field goals now. And all 3 3-pointers here early on. Zeiker with 5, Schmidt with 5, Skylar with 3. Cameron Van Wyck with the 4 points for the Redmen. So after losing a heartbreaker last night at the buzzer, the Eagles have come out flying here. Redmond, not much you can do. They've defended the arc here, but shots are going down. Olsen to Keltson here on the near side. Back to Castell, top of the circle. Over to Miles Olsen once again on the right wing. Olsen being defended hard by Ryan. Penetrates, tried to throw it to Hirth in the left corner, and Hirth able to throw it off his defender that time, Skylar Cameron. Carthage will retain possession underneath with 11 seconds on the shot clock. Get it in quickly to Hirth. He'll fire it up immediately and hits. Got to get Reese Hirth going early. Hits the 18-footer off the left baseline for his first 2 points. 13-6. Redmen have cut it to 7 here. 16:20 to go, first half. Zeicher onto the corner. Tried to get a pass, stolen away by Keltson. 3-on-2 the other way. Keltson dumps it off to Hirth. Hirth penetrates, going glass, missing. Keltson with the rebound. Dumps it off to Van Wyk on the right block. He'll take the jumper there. That one curls off no good. And Zeicher able to pull down the rebound. Good looks, just not going down for the Redmen. Zeicher right to the free throw line, able to hit. Yeah, perfect from the floor. 6 of 6 from the floor here early. 15-6 in favor of the Eagles. Keltson to Van Wyk between the rings. Gets it off to Miles Olsen. Olsen now gave up the dribble. Now finds a Castell on the right block, trying to back down on Schmidt. Turnaround shot, draws the foul. Schmidt can't believe he drew that foul, but he's the guilty party. So Trent Schmidt picks up the first foul for La Crosse. That'll put Mike Castell on the free throw line. Our officials tonight, Dan Kuzinski, Jason Shook, and Tim Treater. And Castell will toe the line here, looking for his first points of the ball game. Castell missing the front end. Second one on the way. That one's no good. 0 for 2, an empty trip for the Redmen as the rebound cleared out for Connor DeBruin. Gives it up to Cameron. Cameron, deep three, left wing. That one rolls up off the backboard and over the stanchion and hitting the shot clock. So their first miss of the ball game. Well, that was a deep three. That was an NBA three put up by Skylar Cameron. It's clear they want to jack the three ball here early on. 3 out of 4 from behind the arc so far. Olsen now works it to Keltson. He'll put up the three. That one's good. A soft floater off the right wing by Keltson. 15-9. Redmond back to within 6. 5 minutes in here from the Tarble Arena. John Weiser with you. Glad you're along this afternoon. Early Redmond basketball today. On the drive on the left side, DeBruin denied inside. Ball deflects back out. Now into the corner. They pass it around. They open three. That one's no good. Hirth trying to get to the loose ball. And he battled DeBruin for it and went off of DeBruin out of bounds. It'll be Carthage ball. Good to see 4 jerseys diving after those rebounds after the pounding the Redmen took on the boards last night. Carthage really had a tough time last night, getting out rebounded 45-29 in that loss to the University of St. Francis. Olsen with it, top of the circle. Gives it off to Hirth, corner far side. Tried to lob it into Van Wyk and saved from going out that time by Keltson, but then Castell caught it at the center stripe and turns it over. Bad passing there by the Redmen. Our first substitution of the game, Ryan Cruiser in now, a sophomore from Waunakee for the Eagles. As they lead by 6, they have the basketball. 13:55 to go here in our first half. Turnaround look by Zeicher, able to pull it back down. Now works it back off to Cruiser. Inside pass looking for Zeicher, stolen away by Hirth. Reese Hirth coming down the floor, leans in with the left hand and lays it up and in. Reese Hirth with 4 points this afternoon. Redmond to within 4. 15-11. Carthage 2 within 4. Ryan with it now. Gets the return pass. Now they bounce feed inside to Schmidt. Schmidt cut off on the baseline. They work it around into the corner for another 3 attempt. This one is short. Rebound pulled in by Keltson. He'll hand it off to Miles Olson. Chance to shave it down some more here for the Redmen. Castell, middle of the circle. Gives it off to Olson. Olson now lost the dribble momentarily. Picks it back up. 20 on the shot clock. And trying to defend and protect the basketball away from Zeiker, and Zeiker charged with a reach. Got a hold of the left arm of Olson that time. Zeiker picks up the foul. That is his first, second on Lacrosse. Zeiker will sit down. Coming in will be Joe Sokovich. Sokovich, the senior from Watertown. Also in Johnny Conan. Conan, the junior from Appleton East. Redmond with a fresh 35 as they inbound. 7 minutes in, 15-11, Lacrosse leading. Olson for 3 off the wing, good. Miles Olson brings his team to within 1 on the 3 ball. Olson, 7 points last night, did not turn it over, gets his first triple of the ball game here. 15-14 Lacrosse. Carthage in a bit of a zone here. Now pull-up jumper. That shot taken that time by Cruiser, no good. Redmond doing a better job rebounding here as Olson collects the loose ball. Carthage a 7-5 advantage on the glass early on. Olson had it bumped and taken away by Conan. No foul called there. Conan with the hand check and able to take it away. Conan now works it off to Cruiser, back to Conan, middle of the floor. Good crisp passing here by Lacrosse early on. Trying to break down the zone here. Carthage in a 2-3 zone. Now they get it back on the wing. 3 ball on the way. That one is short. Battle for the loose ball off of Castell. Picked up in the near corner by Olson. Another good job getting to the glass that time by the Redmen. There are 4 jerseys in there for Carthage battling for that loose ball. 15-14. Redmen looking to get their second lead of the ball game. They led early on, scoring on their first possession. Then Lacrosse went on to hit their first 6 field goals here. Hirth for 3. That one's good. Hirth off the right wing, drops in a soft 3. He's got 7 quickies here. 17-15, Redmond back up by 2. Nice little run here by the Redmen. Now turnaround jumper from the free throw line, no good. Rebound Hirth. Shot taken that time by De Bruin. Now Castell spinning underneath, caught on the right block, laid it up short, battle for the loose ball. Van Wyk picks it up, puts it up, no. Tapped through the hands of Castell and taken away by the Eagles. And Cameron in a timeout taken by Lacrosse, a 30-second timeout. Play stops, 10:47 to go first half. Redmond have retaken a 2-point lead. It's Carthage 17, UW Lacrosse 15. Carthage on a nice little run here. Found themselves down 15-6. But an 11-0 run here puts them back up by 2, 17-15. That run capped off by the 3-pointer from Reese Hirth. Carthage shooting 46%, 7 of 15. After hitting their first 6 buckets, the Lacrosse has gone 0 for 7 from the field, including 4 missed 3-pointers. Redmond have out-rebounded Lacrosse 9-6 so far. Redmond had 5 offensive boards all of last night. They have 4 thus far. Ellis Matthews in now for the Redmen. Also in there now for Carthage, Mike Stevenson, as Carthage gets a steal on a turnover. Keltson with the steal, brings it down. Keltson gives it off to Ellis Matthews. Now finds Keltson high on the right wing. Dribbles around the Van Wyk screen. Gets it to Castell. Castell flips it, trying to get it down to Van Wyk. The ball hit the rim, then Van Wyk was thrown to the floor. No call as he was battling Jared Stege inside. 3 ball on the way, no good. Taken by Conan. Battle for the loose ball. Tap back up top to Conan. Now 3-ball launch here by Cameron. That one goes down. That ends the drought as they went 0 for their last 8 after opening up, hitting their first 6. La Crosse has retaken the lead on the 3-ball by Cameron. 18-17. Stevenson for 3. That one's no good. Van Wyck had the offensive board. And Ellis Matthews tried to jump out of bounds and take the timeout. Wasn't going to get the timeout call. And it's a turnover by the Redmen. Scott McNellis in for Van Wyck. So McNellis makes his way into the lineup. The sophomore from Downers Grove. Redmond again sitting in that 2-3 zone. I mean, to switch up, and that's done the job here. As 1 for their last 9 now are the Eagles. They get the offensive board here, though, with 9:20 to go, leading by 1. 3-ball on the way up, and good. A long launch from Kenny Finko just into the game. Finko, the sophomore out of Heartland Arrowhead, able to drop in the triple. There's no question what they're doing here. Trying to knock down the triples here early on. Not even going to try and match up inside with the Redmen. 21-17, lead back out to 4 for the Eagles. 8:55 to play, first half. Keltson works it off to Castell on the right wing. Hands it off to Matthews. Matthews will pull up 3. That one's good. Matthews up and over Joe Sokovic that time. Matthews with the triple. He has 3. Redmond to within 1, 21-20. Again, the Redmen sit in that 2-3 zone, forcing them to stay outside. They'll fire up the 3 again, this time by Conan, no good. Battle for the loose ball as Stevenson trying to go after that one with Jared Stege. It goes off of Stege. It'll be Carthage ball. Good hustle again on the glass by the Redmen. Miles Olson back in now for Carthage. As Hurth will get a breather here. 21-20. Carthage down 1, 8:20 to go. Stevenson now out of Wilmot. Sophomore pull up in the lane and hits. Mike Stevenson with his first points of the ball game. A little drive in the paint and then a little shoulder fake, little 8-footer popper from the paint. 22-21, Redmond up 1. Under 8 minutes to go, first half. Conan thought about it, reloads. Dishes it off, gets the return pass. Working the perimeter now on the penetration is Finko, and he draws the foul on the body contact by Stevenson. Stevenson commits the foul, his first, the first foul committed by the Redmen. Fresh 35 as the Eagles will inbound underneath the offensive basket. They go all the way up top into the hands of Ryan. Clint Ryan with it. Gets a screen, now slides it off left wing into the hands of Cruiser. Back to Ryan, back to Cruiser. All alone 3. That one's a back iron miss, and Ellis Matthews able to pull that one down. As I said, better effort on the glass here so far by the Redmen. 7.5 minutes to play, first half. Carthage up 1. Stevenson with it in the near corner. Backs it off to McNellis. Now back to Olson. To Matthews. Ellis Matthews out of Libertyville. Behind the back dribble. Cleared some space. Went up with it. Counted and won. Ellis Matthews, the behind the back dribble, then regained possession. Was fouled as he began his launch to the basket. And it trickled across the rim and through. And a 3-point play upcoming for Ellis Matthews. A foul committed by Clint Ryan, his first.
Matthews at the Carthage line.
Matthews for the and 1 here for the Redmen. And connects. Redmond with their biggest lead now at 4, 25-21, 7:15 to go here in our first half. Much better effort here early on by the Redmen. And again, that switch from man to zone after they hit their first 6 shots has really done the trick here so far. Open 3, and that one rolls off, no good. Shot taken that time by Skylar Cameron. As I said, they've gone completely cold here. They've hit 2 of their last 14 shots. Castell backing down on the left block, moves in with the right hand. Hook shot came up short. I think he thought he got a little foul by Stege, who tried to stay his ground on that block. Stege back the other way, and we got a foul by Miles Olson. Hand check that time by Olson. First on Olson, second on the Redmen. Cameron Van Wyk will check back in, replacing Mike Castell for the Redmen. Zeiker also back in there now for the Eagles. Inbound, trailing by 4. They fire it across once again. Cameron pops and hits. Skylar Cameron, that soft little hanging jumper, able to knock that one down from just below the free throw line. 25-23, La Crosse back to within 2. Olson, open 3, right wing. That curls off, no good. Nobody underneath for the Redmen. The only player there was Ellis Matthews. Needs some help on that offensive glass. Open 3 again by Zeiker. Again, he hits, and a timeout by the Redmen. Again, the purpose of the zone is to try and deny the shot, and the Redmen were late getting back, and it'll be a full timeout. We'll take a break as well. 6 minutes to play first half. A 1-point La Crosse lead, 26-25. On your home for Redmen basketball, AM 1050, WLIP. La Crosse, on the strength of a 6 of 14 three-point shooting, leads it by 1, 26-25, under 6 minutes to go. John Weiser with you back at the Tarble Arena. Miles Olson with the basketball for the Redmen. Works it off to Stevenson between the circles, back to Olson. Olson being guarded heavily by Cameron. Gets it off to Stevenson once again. Now to Van Wyk, top of the circle. Looks underneath for Matthews. The pass was late and behind Matthews, off his left hand and out of bounds. Another turnover for the Redmen, their 5th. Trent Schmidt back in now for the Eagles. Again, the Redmen will drop back in a 2-3 zone. And they work it off inside momentarily to Schmidt. Now back outside, out of the corner for 3. Once again, Skylar Cameron. Cameron with 11 points. He's 3 for 6 now from behind the arc. 29-25 in favor of the Eagles. As they try and get it into McNellis, he was held up. No foul called. The man had the jersey. Connor DeBruin had his hand up his jersey and no foul called. Reese Hurth will check in for Ellis Matthews, so it'll be Hurth, Olson, McNellis, Van Wyk, and Stevenson. 5:10 to play. La Crosse back up by 4. With it now is DeBruin. Works it off far side. Cameron again for 3, and again knocks it down. Now somebody's got to jump out and get a hand in the man's face. Skylar Cameron all over the gym with 14 points on 4 of 7 now from behind the arc. 32-25, the lead back up to 7 here for the Eagles. 4:40 to play. Stevenson with it, works it off to Reese Hurth. Gets around Skylar Cameron on the dribble drive. Now back out to Olson. Olson penetrates below the line. Tried to bounce it inside to Van Wyk. He thought it was deflected, not going to get the call. Wait a minute, Tim Treater stepping in. We may get a change here. They're going to reverse the call. Tim Treater stepping in to change the call here as it was deflected off of DeBruin inside. Mike Castell will check back in now for the Redmen. 14 to shoot here on the shot clock for the Redmen. Olson will trigger the inbound. Got it into Van Wyk, lost it, and then the steal back the other way. And underneath with the layup, Cale Zeiker. 34-25 now in favor of the Eagles. An 11-0 run here for La Crosse. 4 minutes to go here in this first half. Olson with it now. Bounce feed, lazy pass there, broken up and out of bounds by Trent Schmidt. Redmen have that propensity to try these bounce passes, but none of the players step out to receive the pass. Got to come after the ball. Stevenson gets the inbounds, now doesn't know what to do with it. He's tied up immediately, has to take a timeout. Oh, we got a foul called here as he got hit in the head. Foul's going to go on DeBruin. Stevenson got double teamed. He was looking to get a timeout, but then as he turned to make the timeout, DeBruin caught him across the side of the head. I hope he's okay. He's going to stay in there as he inbounds the pass to Olson. 3:50 to play, first half, 34-25, UW La Crosse. Stevenson with it now, working on DeBruin, takes it all the way to the glass, too strong. And a battle for the loose ball picked up here in the nearest corner by Zeiker. And a timeout taken by Zeiker as he was trapped immediately by Hirth and Castell. So it'll be a 30-second timeout taken here by the Eagles. Well, the Elmhurst Blue Jays about to go to 4-0 on the season as they lead Fontbonne 78-53 down in St. Louis. About a minute left in that ball game. Try and check some other scores for you while we have a moment. As the Eagles will inbound here. With it now is Schmidt. Schmidt works it off far side to Zeiker. Back in the hands of Skylar Cameron. Got to watch him. Redmond have gone back man here now. So they get the block inside by Castell on the shot attempt that time by Zeiker. Castell with the reject, and Carthage will bring it back up the other way. 3:05 to go, trailing by a 34-25 count. Hirth for three over the Van Wyck screen, and it settles into the bucket. Reese Hirth in double figures now with 10 to lead the Redmen in scoring. 34-28. Carthage back to within 6. Get a couple of stops here and get back into this. Step back shot top of the circle by Schmidt. That's no good. Rebound to Van Wyck. Van Wyck will take control here. Off to Olson, now to Hirth. Hirth on the drive to the basket, right side, going strong, drew the foul. Foul will go on Trent Schmidt. That'll be the 5th team foul now on La Crosse. And the free throw by Hirth is up and in. Illinois Wesleyan leading Illinois College 51-32. That game at the half in Jacksonville, Illinois. Augustana already another 30-point win today over Roost College. 91-63 the final in that one. They are 4-0 on the year. Blue Jays also 4-0. Elmhurst picking up a win at Fontbonne. Carthage trying to get back over 500 with a win here today. 34-30 as Hirth connects on both free throws. He now has 12. 2:15 to play. Eagles with the ball. Fadeaway jumper off the left block by Skylar Cameron, no good. Rebound pulled away by Olson. Olson down the floor quickly. Gets it off to Hirth near corner on the drive. Dumps it back to Van Wyck. Van Wyck had it poked out from behind. Picked up by Castell in the backcourt. But then threw it right back in the hands of Conan, who threw it away. Looking inside for Zeiker. Not a very good sequence at all here by either team. And they're going to get a substitution in here right away. McNellis is going to come in for Cameron Van Wyck. So Carthage with a chance to pull within 2 or to within 1 with a triple here, as Olson has it. Works it off to Reese Hirth. Now finds McNellis on the drive, pulls up off the glass, no good. Castell fighting hard for the rebound, got tripped up to the floor as he was battling for that loose ball. Skylar Cameron had fallen down, and as Van Wyck came up with the rebound, tripped over Cameron. So Cameron picks up the foul, his first. 6th on La Crosse as a team. Carthage will get a fresh 35 and will inbound under their offensive basket here with 1:36 to go in the half. Olson inbounds quickly to Castell, and then we got it, what? Stepping out of bounds with it, Miles Olson. As he tried to get that return pass from Castell, left foot landed on the end line. 9 turnovers by the Redmen here in the first half. Much better effort on the glass. Carthage actually out-rebounding La Crosse 16-12 here for the first 18 minutes. On the drive, that should have been a travel. Where's the whistle? There it is. Ryan Cruiser that time, as he pulled up off the dribble trying to protect the basketball, took the extra step. 5th turn by La Crosse here in this first half, and once again the Redmen with a chance to trim it to 2 or to 1 with a triple. Earth now circles around right side, laid it up short, got bumped from behind, no call. Rebound pulled in by Conan. He was trying to work on Ryan Cruiser that time, and Cruiser got away with a shove. Redmen back man-to-man. Sat in zone there through the middle part of this first half that got them back in the ball game. They were in danger of getting blown out by some hot shooting early on by La Crosse, as losing it through the paint that time was the dribbler, and he kicks it back out to Zeiker. He missed. Rebound by Olson. 32 seconds to play. Shot clock dark. Redmen can play it for 1 here. Earth now across to Olson. Sets it up here with 20 seconds to go in the half. Olson now getting bumped around by Cruiser. Now gives it off to McNellis. He'll sit on it, the center circle with 10. With 9, now with 8, they'll move into their offense. Olson now with it with 5. Olson circling around on the drive, kick into the corner. Stevenson for 3, back iron no, and it goes out of bounds as the horn sounds, ending our first half. Good look for Stevens, had a nice look, just did not knock it down. And so your score at the half, the La Crosse Eagles leading the Carthage Redmen by a score of 34-30. We'll take a 2-minute break, back to talk about our first half right after this. This is Carthage Redmen basketball, and your home for Redmen athletics, AM 1050 WLIP. We've reached halftime here at the Tarble Arena in Kenosha. Carthage Redmen trailing by 4. It's UW La Crosse 34, the Redmen 30 after the first 20 minutes. Boy, the first 5 minutes, it looked like the Redmen were going to get blown out of the gym. The Eagles opened up a 15-6 lead on 6 of 6 shooting, including 3 3-pointers. And it looked like the Redmen were in a heap of trouble, but Carthage went back to work and called a timeout. They switched up from man defense, went to a zone at that point, and the Redmen opened up an 11-0 run to take a 17-15 lead at that point on a 3-pointer by Reese Hurth at about the midway point of our first half. And then the teams traded baskets before the Eagles went back up by 4, 21-17 on a Kenny Finko 3-point basket. And Carthage then went to work from that point on. Went on an 8-0 run to take a 25-21 lead on a free throw by layup and 3-point play by Ellis Matthews. That made it 25-21 Redmen. But then the Redmen got outscored 13-5 through the final 7 and change here in the ball game to trail 34-30 at the half. It's very clear what La Crosse came out here to do, and that was to take the 3-point shot. They were 8 of 17 from behind the arc. They did not get to the free throw line in that first half. And when the Redmen went to zone after the first 5 minutes, and the Eagles hit their first 6 shots tonight, Eagles then went 7 for 23 the rest of the way out. And we'll see if the Redmen stay in that zone to open up second half play. If you take a look at the numbers here in the first half, Carthage shot 42%, 11 of 26 from the floor, 5 of 9 from 3-point range, 3 of 5 from the free throw line. Much better job on the glass as well by the Redmen, as they collected 5 offensive rebounds through the first 20 minutes. They had 5 all of last night in 40 minutes of action. So a collective effort by the Redmen to get to the glass here in this one. Individually for the Redmen, 12 points for Reese Hurth to lead his team in scoring. Hurth 4 of 6 from the floor, 2 for 2 from 3-point range, and a pair of free throws for his 12 points. The only player in double figures for the Redmen so far. Ellis Matthews with 6, perfect from the floor, 2 for 2, including a three-pointer. Cameron Van Wyk with 4. Van Wyk struggled a bit, 2 of 7 from the floor for Van Wyk for his 4 points. 3 each for Miles Olson and Mike Kelson tonight. Olson 1 for 2, Kelson 1 for 1. But Olson another strong performance in 17 minutes. 3 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists so far for Olson in a starting role at point guard. Again, the Redmen without Dante Logan for the second straight game. Logan expected to be back on Tuesday night at Platteville. Mike Stevenson with 2. Mike Costell and Scott McNellis played, did not score for the Redmen. For the Eagles, after that red-hot start, they fell back to 44% from the floor, 13 of 29. They were 8 for 17 from the three-point arc and did not make a free throw, or did not attempt a free throw, I should say, in that first half. Skylar Cameron, 14 points. Cameron 4 of 7 from behind the arc, 5 of 9 overall for his 14 points. Cale Zeiker also is hot, 12 points for Zeiker, 5 of 9 from the floor, including a pair of three-pointers. Trent Schmidt with 5 and Kenny Finko with 3, the scoring for the Eagles in that first half. Carthage out rebounding the Eagles 17-14, including 5 on the offensive glass for the Redmen. Leading rebounders for Carthage, Hirth and Van Wyk, each with 3. Van Wyk with 2 of his 3 coming on the offensive glass. The leading rebounder for the Eagles was Cale Zeiker. Zeiker with 4 boards tonight, all of them on the defensive glass. Carthage forcing 10 turns by the Eagles in that first half. Or I should say 5 turnovers and 10 assists for the Eagles in that first half. Meanwhile, the Redmen, 7 assists, 9 turnovers committed by the Redmen in that first half. And the Redmen trail by 4 here at the break, 34-30. A couple of games from this afternoon. Down in Jacksonville, Illinois, Illinois Wesleyan taking on the Blue Boys of Illinois College. That game now in the second half, with Wesleyan holding a 60-34 advantage over the Blue Boys. That game now early second half. Elmhurst picks up its 4th win of the year as they knock off Fontbonne today, 82-53 the final in that one. As the Blue Jays go to 4-0, keeping pace with the Vikings of Augustana. In that ball game, Jalen Loving with 14 points to lead the way for the Blue Jays. Will Nixon chipped in 11. Peyton Wyatt with 9 for Elmhurst. Very balanced scorebook for the Blue Jays. Wyatt with 9, Payunk with 8, Kyle Wiest with 8, Eric Crittenden with 8 for the Blue Jays in picking up their 4th win of the year. So the Blue Jays now at 4-0 in men's play thus far. Augustana with a big win today over Roost College down at the Thomas More Jim Connor Classic as they pick up the win. 91-68 the final in that one. So Augustana now at 4-0 on the year. Later on this evening, it'll be North Central taking on Bluffton in the Marriott Naperville Tip-Off Tournament final at the airplane hangar, Gregory Arena down in Naperville. Also, later on tonight, Wheaton will take on number 9 Wash U in the championship game of the Lee Fun Classic. That game will tip off at 8 o'clock tonight. Earlier this afternoon, the Lady Reds picked up their 2nd win of the year as they knocked off UW La Crosse 62-41. 3 players in double figures for the Lady Reds. Alexis Hahn with 19, Taylor Boardman with 12, Aaron Thomas with 11 to lead the way for the Lady Reds. Lady Reds out-rebounding the Eagles 47-35 in that contest, notching their 2nd win. Lady Reds back in action on Tuesday night on the road in Dubuque to take on Loras College, the champions of the Iowa League from a year ago. That'll be our next broadcast here on 1050 WLIP and on the stream at WLIP.com. We'll be with you on Tuesday night from Loras beginning at 5:45 with our pregame and a 6 o'clock tip from Dubuque, Iowa. Our next Redmond broadcast will be next Friday and Saturday, part of the UC Santa Cruz Banana Slug Tournament going on in California. Redmond will fly out very early Thanksgiving morning and will participate in that tournament with Washington University and University of California, Santa Cruz. Redmond will play Wash U on Friday afternoon at 5 Central Time. We'll be with you at 4:45 Friday afternoon for that one. And also a 5 Central Time tip on Saturday, and we'll also be with you at 4:45 on Saturday when the Redmen take on UC Santa Cruz. So a real quick 4-day trip down to San Francisco area. Fly out early Thursday morning, get back Sunday evening, and then it's back into the grind for the Redmen as they'll get back on the floor then hosting Hope and Calvin as part of what used to be the MIAA CCIW Challenge, now called the Carthage Classic 2. Wheaton College will also participate in that tournament here at the Tarble Arena. That'll be the first weekend of December. 34-30, La Crosse leading the Redmen here after the first 20 minutes. Reese Hirth with 12 to lead the way for the Redmen. Skylar Cameron with 14 to pace the way for the Eagles. We'll take a 2-minute break, back with second half action right after this on your home for Redmond basketball, Kenosha's radio station, AM 1050 WLIP. Both teams have made their way out of the locker room and onto the Tarble Arena floors. We get set for second half play. John Weiser with you. Glad you're along for Carthage Redmond basketball this afternoon on a foggy, drizzly November afternoon. Redmond taking on UW La Crosse, trailing here at the break 34-30, and just the second ever meeting between these two schools. You have to go all the way back to 1979 when the teams got together again. The Eagles winning that game 92-80 in that ball game. So as we said, the Redmen in the middle of that 5 games in 9-day stretch. They'll be Tuesday night at Platteville, then the 2 games on the West Coast Friday and Saturday of next week, part of that UC Santa Cruz Hilton Slugs winter tournament against Washington University and UC Santa Cruz. And the Redmen back home for that tournament against Calvin and Hope. Always a good tournament, always brings out the best, I think, in all the teams, and good test. Both teams travel well, so we should have a lively Tarble Arena once again when that tournament rolls around. So anxious to see how that shapes up as we get into the month of December. Hard to believe we're headed into the last week of November. Starting 5 out there now for the Redmen: Olson, Keltson, Hirth, Van Wyk, and Castell. Ryan, Zeiker, Cameron, Schmidt, and De Bruin for the Eagles. Eagles with the ball to start this second half, and the 4-point lead we're underway. So they work it off on the near wing. Cameron had it momentarily, now gives it up to Ryan. Back over to De Bruin. De Bruin penetrates below the free throw line, jump stop, and a foul called on the Redmen on that jump stop. Miles Olson with the hand check. Second foul on Olson. And the Eagles will inbound right to the basket, broken up momentarily by Castell into the hands of Schmidt. Schmidt working at top of the circle, back over to the right to Skylar Cameron. Now De Bruin with it to Ryan. Hands it off to Schmidt. Schmidt will fire and hit for 3. Trent Schmidt for the triple. 37-30, Eagles lead. 9 for 18 now. Behind the arc are the Eagles. Now Castell spinning on the right block. Contact, count it, and 1 for Mike Castell. Good early offensive set for the Redmen as they're going to get Castell going here offensively. Working inside on Trent Schmidt, who picks up his third foul early. And Castell with a chance to complete the three-point play. And the free throw up and in for Castell, his first points this afternoon. Just going to say that Redmond setting up that offense. Like to see Castell going here early on. They'll need him here in the second half. Redmond back to within 4. DeBruin threw it right in the hands of the official standing on the sideline. So turnover by the Eagles, their 6th. As Schmidt will come out now, and in will be Joe Sokovic. Sokovic, the senior out of Watertown. 37-33, Redmond down 4. Bringing it up is Miles Olson, junior out of East Troy. Looks it off to Castell now, backing down on the left block, back out to Hurth. Hurth with a little skip hop now, pulls up short, battle for the loose ball inside, goes off the fingertips of Zeiker out of bounds. And Redmond will retain possession, 16 on the shot clock here. Olson will inbound all the way up top to Reese Hurth. Hurth with 12 first half points. Gives it off to Olson now with 10 on the shot clock. Olson now to Castell. Tried to lob it down to Van Wyk. Couldn't corral it and tried to tip it back out. Picked up by Ryan. That's the second time Castell and Van Wyk have misconnected on the alley-oop. Firing it up that time was Zeiker, no good. Offensive board inside, and the shot taken by Sokovic, no good. Castell able to clear it out. Off to Olson. To Keltson now, middle of the floor, Van Wyk, left wing, Olson. Olson raising up, being guarded hard by Ryan. Now works it off right side to Keltson. Keltson trying to take advantage of the Castell screen, kicks it off left corner. Olson dribbles out, 16-footer, pulls up, no. Rebound inside by Castell, and he was pushed from behind. Sokovic, I believe, the guilty party, pushing Castell from behind.
Eagles foul, number 30, Kovic, his first personal foul. Second team foul.
Carthage will inbound with a fresh 35 here in the offensive end. Hurth now penetrates, lost the dribble. It was knocked out of his hand that time. I think DeBruin poked it away. Well, DeBruin and Zeiker were going to clamp down on Hurth as he drove through the paint. Now Hurth on a catch and release off the inbound pass, hits the 16-footer off the right baseline. Hurth with 14, the Redmen do within 2, 37-35, early second half. Now taking the shot, and the triple goes down once again. Skylar Cameron, 5 for 8 from behind the arc. He has 17. 40-35 La Crosse. 3 minutes into our second half. Castell now backing down on the block, turns, now leans in, try to flip it back up top, deflected to Miles Olson. Olson now gets around the Van Wyk screen, gave up the dribble. So throw it back up top, gets it to Castell. Now in the hands of Hurth. Hurth with 9 on the shot clock. Now inside it goes Castell, going strong to the basket, draws the foul. Mike Castell going hard to the hoop. In the paint, knocked around, and draws the foul.
Eagles foul, number 23, Zeiker, his second.
Zeiker picks up the foul. That's his second, third on La Crosse here in the half. At the free throw line once again, Mike Castell for the Redmen. Castell, free throw, bounces around and falls off, no good. He was 0 for 3 from the field in the first half, 1 for 2 here in the second half.
Your Carthage substitution is number 5, Ellis Matthews.
As Matthews will check in, replacing Keltson for the Redmen. And 1 for 2 as Castell makes the back end of his pair from the line. 40-36, Redmond to within 4. 16:35 to go here in this second half. Once again, Zeiker for 3, and Cale Zeiker off the screen, and the Redmen late getting out, trying to cover him. Zeiker for 3, he's got 15. 43-36. Back to a 7-point lead for La Crosse. Castell down low on the right side, protected the ball with the right hand, went up with it and drew the foul. Foul will go on Skylar Cameron. That's his second, fourth on the Eagles. And once again, Castell back to the free throw line. It's one area where he needs to work on here for Castell. He's going to want to play tough inside. He's going to have to start making his free throws. This one's up and in. Castell now 2 for 4 at the line. Second one is on the way and good. 2 for 2 that trip. Castell now with 6 points, all in the second frame, 43-38. Redmond trail here. We're 4 minutes into our second half. Castell nearly got the steal as he tried to jump in front of Zeiker that time to intercept that pass. Goes off his arm out of bounds. Kenny Finko in to replace Clint Ryan for the Eagles. Finko gets the inbound pass, throws up a wild one-hander, no good. Ball loose inside, Van Wyk takes it away. Outlets to Olsen, 3-on-2 if he hustles. Finds Matthews for 3, got it! Ellis Matthews off the break that time. Both Olsen and Hirth, and Matthews on that 3-on-2 race, and Matthews from the right arc able to drop down the triple. The Redmen do within 2. Now backing down, left block is Sokovic. Kicks it back out to Zeiker, who drains the three-pointer. Zeiker with 18. He's having a three-point contest here with his teammate Skylar Cameron. 46-41. Redmond trailing by 5 here. Trying to get it into Van Wyk. Hirth's pass through his fingertips and out of bounds. Turnover by the Redmen, their 12th. Just their third turn here in the second half. 46-41, Eagles lead it here. 15 minutes to go. Finkel with it on the dribble, guarded by Olsen. Gets to the free throw line, cut off by Olsen. Kicks it back out to Conan. Another 3 on the way, and another one dropped down by Skylar Cameron. 20 points in the game for Cameron. Timeout, La Crosse.
It's a full timeout.
And Cameron lighting it up from behind the arc here tonight. He has 20. His teammate, Zeiker, with 18. 49-41 La Crosse. The Eagles will take a full timeout here. They have 4 timeouts remaining. The Redmen with 3. Team fouls, 4 team fouls for La Crosse. 1 whistled against the Redmen here in the second half. Eagles are 13 for 23 from behind the arc here. It's clear what they want to do. They haven't attempted a free throw yet. And we're 25 minutes into our game here, and they have yet to get to the foul line. Redmen are late on their switches here, trying to get to the three-point shooter, and that's what's aided La Crosse here in that 13 for 23 outside the arc. Carthage will inbound as Van Wyk will toss it into Miles Olsen. On the drive, Castell down the right side, lays it up and in. Castell got that pass from the top of the circle, and then there was no question he was going to take it right to the rack, and he did. Laid it up and in, 49-43. We got a foul before the shot.
Carthage foul, number 22, Van Wyk, his first personal foul.
And Van Wyk commits the foul. That is his first, second on the team. And the miss. And the rebound pulled away by the Redmen. Ellis Matthews with it. Gives it up top to Costell. Around the left side to Hirth. Now to Van Wyk. Soft jumper from 16 off the left baseline. No good. Rebound pulled in by Joe Sakovic. On the drive, this is Cameron, and Skylar Cameron fouled, and they'll get to the free throw line for the first time tonight. It'll be Skylar Cameron on the line. Cameron, the senior from Burnham Wood, Wisconsin, prepped at Anago High School. He gets the honor of tossing the first 2 free throws of the game for La Crosse. Coming here with 13:48 remaining in the second half. Makes the front end. Substitution here for La Crosse as Jared Steggy will come in. Steggy, a junior out of Waunakee, Wisconsin. Second attempt by Cameron is good. 22 points tonight for Skylar Cameron. Danger of setting the Carthage Classic scoring record with his performance here today. And Van Wyk on the drive. That record, Van Wyk able to hit the layup. 6 points for Van Wyk. Of course, Steve Jurakovic holding that record of 35 points back in the 2010 Classic against Bethany. The way Skylar Cameron's going, he's threatening that record here today. Conan with it now, works it off left wing into the hands of Steggy. Back outside to Cameron. That one barely drew iron. Loose inside, picked up by Costell. Outlets to Miles Olson. Olson will bring it down, his team trailing by 6. 13 minutes to go here in this one. Olson being watched by Conan. Gives it off to Matthews. Back up top to Costell. Costell now on the drive, going hard to the basket. Could see that one set up there. Costell wanted to drive the basket, and wisely the defender that time, Steggy, stood his ground in the paint to take the charge by Costell. Cruiser will check back in now for the Eagles. Mike Stevenson will come in now for the Redmen. 51-45, La Crosse leading here, 12:40 remaining. Eagles work the basketball on the far wing. Kenny Finko with it, back up top to Conan. Conan now bounce feed inside, shot partially blocked by Costell, tapped around. Costell had it and then was tripped up from behind once again by Cale Zeiker, and Zeiker picks up his 3rd foul.
Eagles foul number 23. Zeiker, his 3rd personal foul.
5th team foul on the Eagles. So we're not shooting yet here. Redmond will inbound full length, trailing by 6. Carthage led by as many as 4 at the 7:16 mark of the first half. La Crosse as many as 9, that also in the first half. Ellis Matthews, a little clear with the dribble, fires up the 3, that's no good. Costell with the offensive board, goes back up soft with the right hand, couldn't hit. Ball tipped around, it's loose, and a breakout by Finko. Finko will take it down, turns and delivers. Zeiker, we got an offensive foul. They're going to call a foul on Olson on a block. Count the basket, and the 3-point play upcoming for Zeiker. I thought he walked with the basketball. I thought as he caught that pass when Finko penetrated, he turned and tried to maitre d' it and serve it right back to Zeiker. Looked like he shuffled the feet before he put the ball down. And then he collided with Olson, who got called with the foul. So Reese Hirth will check out. Sean Valentine will check in for the first time tonight. Valentine, the junior out of Cary, Illinois. The and one upcoming here for Zeiker. That one clanks off the back of the rim, but getting it was Finkel. Back out to Zeiker for 3, drops it in. 5-point play on that possession as Zeiker drops in the triple. Zeiker now with 23, 56-45. Largest lead of the game now at 11 for the Eagles. Inside it goes to Costell. He was hatchet as he went to the basket. He'll get to the free throw line once again. Jared Steggy with the foul, dropping the hammer that time on Costell on the right block, and that'll put Costell on the line for 2. The last one to give there, as that's the 16th foul on Lacrosse. And the free throw clanks off by Costell. As I said, that's one of his weaknesses in his game. Mike Costell has got to do a better job at the line. He's got to get to that 60-70% mark to be effective here. We're going to work the ball inside. If that's the way the Redmen are going to play inside, he's going to have to start hitting the free throws. Kevin Kozel in now for the first time tonight for the Redmen. Kozel, the 6'1 junior guard out of Prospect Heights, Illinois. Carthage trying to find some kind of combination to cool off Zeiker and Cameron. Finko for 3 out of the left corner. That one's no good. Ball tipped back out. Back to Conan. And on the drive to the basket, and Zeiker nailed as he hit the deck hard that time by Stevenson. They'll put Zeiker on the line, shooting a pair. For Stevenson, that is his second. 16th foul on the Redmen. Free throw up by Zeiker and good. Reen will come back in now for the Eagles. Sokovic getting set to come in. And he'll check in off the made free throw here by Zeiker. He'll come in for Zeiker. Zeiker leaves with 25 points for UW Lacrosse. A 12-point Eagle lead, 58-46. Trent Schmidt will check back in now for the Eagles as well. He'll replace Jared Steggy. Carthage now, different look here as they'll have Kozel handling the basketball. Works it off to Valentine. Valentine up top to Stevenson. Stevenson top of the circle, back to Kozel on the right wing. Back to Matthews on the left side through Stevenson. Ellis Matthews rolls it into Costell. Turns, faces the basket on the left block. Gets it in the corner. Back out to Matthews. Matthews will fire. No good. Offensive rebound through the fingertips of Costell. Back into the hands of Lacrosse, and the Eagles will bring it down. 10.5 minutes to go. Carthage down 12. With it is Ryan. Ryan now on the drive. Cut off by Kozel. Back off to Finko. Guarded by Matthews. Pulls it out near the center stripe. Finko now. Crossover dribble. Stops. Tied up that time by Matthews. Gets it off to Schmidt. Schmidt bodied up by Stevenson and traveled with it. Took the shuffle step before putting it down. Good defensive job that time by Stevenson to force the travel. Remains 58-46 UW Lacrosse. 10 minutes to go here. Redmen are going to have to come from behind once again. Costell, deep jumper, that time no good, and the rebound pulled in by the Redmen. There was a foul on the kick out back up top to Kozel. Schmidt picks up the foul. That is his fourth. Cameron and Steggy will check back in, replacing Schmidt, who leaves with 4 fouls. This will be Mike Stevenson at the line for the Redmen. Cameron Van Wyk in for Costell here. So Stevenson shooting the 1-and-1 here. That's the 7th team foul on the Eagles. And the free throw no good. Rebound pulled in by the Eagles. Cameron and Sokovic that time able to get the board. With it now is Ryan, works it over near wing to Finko. Finko takes the dribble back up top. Now I got a hold through the paint that time on the cut through the lane.
Carthage foul, number 24, Sean Valentine.
Sean Valentine picks up the foul. That is his first. 17th foul on the Redmen, so each team in the bonus now the rest of the way out with 9.5 minutes remaining. This will be Skylar Cameron at the free throw line. Cameron with 22 points tonight. We're going to mop up some perspiration in the paint here before he attempts his free throws. This will be 1-1 here for Cameron. And nails the front end. Cameron with 23 points tonight. To go with Zeiker's 25. Nobody else in double figures for the Eagles. They're just going to ride out the hot hands here. Makes both free throws. A 14-point lead, the largest of the game here for the Eagles. 60-46. Kozel with the basketball for the Redmen. Works it off to Valentine, top of the circle. Back to Kozel, ball faking, now drives, got around his man, and we got a whistle and a foul on the drive to the basket. As a good move by Kozel to lose Ryan on his way to the basket. Foul will go on Stege, his second. This will put Kevin Kozel on the free throw line, the junior from Hersey High School. Kozel looking for his first points tonight. Drops that one in. De Bruin back in, replacing Finko. Reese Hirth also back in now for the stretch run for the Redmen. Kozel's shot is up and in. 2 for 2 that trip for Kevin Kozel. His first 2 points of the evening. 60-48. Redmen down 12, 9 minutes to go. Zeiker with it. Now gets it off to De Bruin. Works it off far wing Ryan. Now in the hands of De Bruin once again. Driving left side. Got around Valentine. Missed the shot. Got his own rebound though. Ball didn't hit the rim. Now goes back up a second time. No good. The tap out picked up by Valentine. Outlets to Kozel. Back down the other way come the Redmen. Stevenson jump stop. Top of the circle. Now drives the basket. Lost control and was fouled. Ball was slapped out of his hand. A hack foul called on the Crosse player. It'll go on Ryan. That'll put Stevenson on the free throw line. They said it was in the act of shooting, so Stevenson will shoot 2. Stevenson 2 points tonight, 1 of 4 from the floor. Now 1 for 2 from the line. Sophomore out of Wilmot Union High School on the western part of Kenosha County. Second one up and in. Stevenson 2 for 2, cuts the deficit to 10. 60-50, 8.5 minutes to play. Redmen could use a couple of stops here. Back on a run. With it now is Stege. Back over to Skylar Cameron for 3. Cameron has just been on fire tonight. 27 points tonight for Cameron. He's 7 of 11 from behind the arc. We got a hand check foul. Stevenson tried to make the penetration move on De Bruin that time, and De Bruin put the arm bar out, and Stevenson back at the free throw line. This time double bonus. He'll be shooting 2. He's short on the front end. Skylar Cameron out of nowhere here tonight. Challenging Steve Jurakovich's tournament record, 35 points in a game. He's got 27 already, as the second free throw on the way by Stevenson is good. Hits the back end of 2, 1 for 2 that trip. 5 points for Stevenson. A 12-point deficit for the Redmen. With it now is Zeiker. Zeiker back up top, into the hands of Stege. Crosse going to run some offense here, kill some time. Zeiker, step back 3 off the left wing. That one is no good. Had the open look. Skylar Cameron with the rebound, and he was undercut. It's going to go on Stevenson, I believe.
Carthage foul, number 20, Stevenson.
Stevenson with the body that time as Skylar Cameron went up for that rebound, undercut him. He hit the floor hard, but he's back up and already parked at the line, ready to shoot two. That one's up and in. 28 points for Skylar Cameron. 8 for 13 from the floor, 7 of 11 from three-point range, and 5 for 5 now at the stripe. It's the back end as well. 2 for 2 that trip, 29 points for Skylar Cameron. 6 points away from the Carthage Classic record. Hirth now. Got caught up in the air, came back down with it and traveled. Ooh, big break here for the Redmen. They said the ball was held as Hirth was in the air, came back down with it, so the held ball, possession arrow to the Redmen. So Hirth through the paint, leans in with the right hand, missing, tap up by Van Wyk, no good. Castell got the rebound and was fouled. Castell having a few words with Skylar Cameron over there. Foul's going to go on Conan. That's his first. And they'll put Mike Castell on the line. Double bonus here for Castell. 9 points from Big Mike, all here in the second half. Drops in the free throw in double figures now with 10 second half points. Second free throw up and in for Castell. 2 for 2 that trip, 11 points for Big Mike. Again, 12-point deficit here, 65-53 with 7:20 to play. Finkel penetrates, dishes to the corner to Skylar Cameron, back to Finkel. Now they bring it back up top. Cameron with it now, working on Valentine. Ball faking, now puts it on the floor. Hands it off to Finkel. Reese Hirth trying to body him up. Circling around is Finkel. Through the double team, lays it up and in. Got past both Hirth and Castell that time. Reverse layup right side for Ricky Finkel. 67-53, 6:50 to go. Hirth, lob over the top, down low left to Van Wyk. Missed the shot. Coming away with it is Kenny Finkel. Van Wyk just not the same. He's got that right wrist taped up. Not trying to make an excuse, but his shots have been way off. Finkel with it. Gets it to Zeiker. Zeiker pull up over Van Wyk and hits. Cale Zeiker for 27 now, 69-53. The three-point shooting and the outside shooting for UW La Crosse today, superb. Now a turnover. Redmond turn it over. Finkel comes back with it, driving on Valentine, floats, missing. Rebound picked up by Miles Olson. He'll push it up the floor. Olson, bounce feed back to Hirth, trailing on the left wing. Gathers it in, now takes the dribble, pulls it back out, gives it off to Olson. 5:50 to play, and the Redmen trailing by 16. Van Wyk, top of the circle, all alone, wants the three shot, way off. Battle for the loose ball. We got a whistle and a foul. It's going to go on La Crosse. Big break here for the Redmen. Once again, Castell will go to the free throw line as that foul will be on Jared Stege. Battling each other underneath for position. And they'll call Stege for the shove. La Crosse. Lots of fouls here. $18 fouls here in the ball game now for La Crosse. Castell's free throw off the back iron, no good.
Eagle substitution, number 30, Sokovic.
Sokovic will check back in now for the Eagles. Redmond as a team now at the line tonight, 15 for 22. Second one up and in, and a timeout taken by the Redmen. A 30-second timeout. 69-54 your score.
It's a 30-second timeout.
At Illinois College. Final now, Illinois Wesleyan goes to 2-1 on the year as they win the Bill Maris Tip-Off Classic, defeating Illinois College 89-64, the final in that one. So they go to 2-1 on the season. Augustana with a win today. Elmhurst with a win. Milliken won their ball game. That one at the Webster Gorlock tournament. With Wheaton and North Central set to play later tonight. And a whistle and a body block that time on the part of Reese Hirth, trying to body up on Skylar Cameron. Once again, Cameron to the free throw line, has 29 points tonight. Again, the record for points in a game in this tournament set by Steve Jurakovic. And Skylar Cameron bucking for that, as he gets the soft touch off the front of the rim and down. Jurakovic with those 35 back in 2010 in the win over Bethany Lutheran. Ties the record for most three-pointers. That was set by Dubuque's Chris Frazier last year. And Mike Shaw back in 2009 from Platteville. He has 31 points now, 71-54. 5:20 to go. Redmond turn it over. Van Wyk looking for the alley-oop to Castell, back the other way, and the layup is good by Jared Stege. And that might be all she wrote here with 5 minutes to go and the Redmen chasing 19. And now Castell throwing the Skylar Cameron to the floor, called for the foul, and a little bit of frustration, I think, setting in now with the Redmen. They've had it handed to them 2 games in a row here on their home floor. And this is going to make for an interesting couple of days here for the Redmen as they get set to go on the road. They'll be at Platteville on Tuesday night. Another tough WIAC opponent. The Redmen have Wash U on the schedule coming up on Friday and UC Santa Cruz on Saturday. So Bosco said last night, it's a man's game. Nobody's going to feel sorry for you when things aren't going right. You're going to have to figure things out. And Redmond early on here had things figured out, but too much three-point shooting by the combination of Zeicher and Cameron tonight. Most of those on switch-offs that left one and sometimes both open on the wing as Kenny Finko dribble drive, pulls up on Valentine and hits. 21-point lead now for UW La Crosse, 75-54. And again, Dante Logan should be back in action on Tuesday night. Not to use that as a crutch, but again, back-to-back games without one of your best players. And then we've got a offensive foul on Mike Castell going for the rebound, pushing from behind. Tim Treater on the call, and Bosco not very happy with it. So that'll put Joe Skovic on the line out of Watertown, Wisconsin, looking for his first points tonight.